What's going on, guys? I'm back with another one. Well, actually, I'm back with a first. All right. My first official series review. That's right. No, not an animated series review. Not that. Don't get it twisted. Not that. I'm talking about a live action, real people review. All right. Because I just finished binge watching the hell out of Raised by Wolves. That's right. I told y'all from the get-go. I told y'all I was going to jump into this HBO Max experience. All right. I wasn't going to play any games with this. And that's what I did. I'm getting right into this. Starring Amanda Collin, Abubakar Salim, Travis Fimmel, and Neam Algar. First of all, one of my all-time favorite sci-fi franchises has to be the Alien franchise. Yes, from the first to the last, from the best to the worst. Even the corny one that nobody likes. Yeah, I know which one. Yeah, I like that one too. Well, I'll watch it again. I watched all of them. I loved all of them. All right. And I also completely understand that not all of these were directed by the same director, which is why I have to give props to my boy, Ridley Scott. Yeah, for kicking. He was the one that pioneered this. He kicked it off officially. And I got to give credit where credit is due. All right. He even was responsible for the prequels. All right. And he's responsible for this show as well. So let's get right back to that review. Okay. Raised by Wolves. For those who are not familiar with this or have never heard of this show, Raised by Wolves, first of all, takes place within the Alien Prometheus timeline. Somewhere in between there. Not sure. We're going to talk about that later on, though. Raised by Wolves is about two androids who were programmed to harvest human embryos upon this ship. And they were going to raise these embryos well into adulthood. All right. Now, the issue with this is that you have one android, which is named Mother, who's an ex-necromancer, which means she was a weapon of destruction. All right. She was killing people. All right. And now she's programmed to be a mother. Think about that one. Don't think too long. The second android, Father. He's your run-of-the-mill android. All right? He's your regular android who was surprisingly programmed with a sense of humor. All right? It's a very corny sense of humor, but he has a sense of humor. He would be considered the cool parent. The parent the kids want to be around. All right? More than the other one. Now, with all that going on, remember that these two are in between a war with the believers of soul and the atheists. Where this really starts to matter is when they raise the second group of kids. All right. Yes, the second group of kids. And the reason this is an issue is because the second group of kids are young believers. They're kids of older believers, which you could imagine would be a big problem. Okay. So that's when the show really kicks off. Now, positives. I just want to say from the get-go, I really enjoyed the visuals in this show. The visuals were absolutely stunning. Beautiful scenes. The landscapes were amazing. All right. The scenes, they definitely didn't scream low quality. This was not low budget by any means. and I didn't expect any less from Ridley Scott. Now, was the practical effects versus the special effects and the CGI, was that perfect blend? Not exactly, but they made it work. They did make this work. Okay, it reminded me of the Game of Thrones, and the way Game of Thrones would kind of hold back on their CGI because of the budget. I'm not sure if this is what was going on with this, but it kind of reminded me of that. Yet they made it work. They did make this work. Okay, they did make this work, in my opinion. Another thing that I liked about this, the dynamic between the two couples of the show. Your first couple being mother and father, of course. Earlier I said that mother was a necromancer, right? So she's way more equipped to be a hunter and a gatherer. Where traditionally, I'm just saying traditionally, don't get mad at me for saying this, okay, please. Traditionally, it would be the father who's the hunter and gatherer, and the mother would be caretaker, you would think. So this caused conflict because father felt inept. He felt lesser than a man, even though he's an android. He felt lesser than a man. Okay, and he felt like he was being disrespected most of the time and underappreciated for what he did. And they really got into it about that. That whole thing it was a thing. It was a thing. Okay? Your second couple, which is Mary, and I believe his name was Caleb. All right. Mary and Caleb, first of all, Mary and Caleb, they're atheists who pretty much infiltrated the Believers squad by killing two believers, taking their faces and their identities, realizing they had a son, the people they killed had a son. So that was another one of the missions, to get in contact with that son, get him in there, so that they could all infiltrate the Believers group. Now, upon doing this, of course, what you think would happen, let's just say somebody drank the Kool-Aid. For real. Somebody really drank the Kool-Aid. All right, I'm not going to say anything more than that with that. But they really drank the Kool-Aid. And with that, a lot of issues occurred between the two. Okay? Which is a very interesting process to watch. You could imagine. All right. Now, my negatives, man. My negatives on this. I really have two characters that I did not like. I could not stand two specific characters. The first character, Hunter. This Power Ranger reject looking, he looks like one of the Power Rangers. Power Ranger looking, good burger working character here. He was an a-hole. Okay, he was an a-hole. He was a hater, an a-hole, a traitor. All right. He sold whoever he could sell out to rebel. The whole time he didn't believe, or he had issues with the android parents. He was a part of the second strand of kids. All right, he was one of the young believers. So he really was not trying to hear that these androids' intentions were good. Okay? He wasn't trying to hear any of that. So every chance he got, he was saying something stupid, something smart aleck. He was not feeling this whole situation, but he went about it so wrong. And I just did not like his character for that. He was just so annoying by himself. I couldn't stand him. I could not stand him. Walk off a cliff somewhere, bro. Walk off a cliff. The second character I could not stand was Campion. Now, Campion was from the first strand of kids. All right. Campion, I believe, was raised as a vegetarian and a pacifist. which does not work in a post-apocalyptic world. All right, you need to do anything you can to survive. I'm not talking about stabbing people in the back. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about if you need to kill something to eat, do it. This man didn't want to hurt any, and he was crying the whole time and whining. And I do not like crying and whining kids in movies. I don't like that. This is not a thing for me. It's a turn off in a movie I'm trying to enjoy. All right, and he didn't mix with this blend of people. He didn't mix with it. Even the other kids were telling him, "Man, you gotta eat. You have to eat, bro. Stop with that. Stop. You stop being a hippie. Stop being a hippie." All right, and so I just couldn't stand camping either, man. Couldn't stand. Another thing that was a little bit of a negative was there was some flaws within the storyline, or just things that happen within the show. Like, for instance, this is something I can't go into detail on. Father, at one point, was betrayed by the kids. They tried to lock Father in a hut. Let's keep in mind, Father is an android with immense strength. He could have busted out of that hut anytime he wanted to. Why did he count down and wait for, it was Campion to open it back up, open the hut back up? Why would you do that? Why would you just bust out the hut and get his little bad butt? Okay, but I was like, what? And then there was other things that Father did that just my head wanted to explode. Father was just too easygoing. He was too easygoing. Another thing that I cannot get into detail on. Let's just say there was a point where a character that needed to be rid of could have been gotten rid of, but they chose not to. These certain people chose not to. I'm not going to say anything more than that. And that really made me question why. Why was this a thing? Why was this a thing? All right. One last thing. I really had an issue with, this is probably the biggest negative. Nothing other than that. A confusion with where this lied in the timeline. Where did this happen within the timeline of Aliens or Prometheus? Was this after Aliens? Was this before Aliens? Was this after Prometheus? Was before Prometheus? Where did this lie within our, Ridley Scott timeline? I was completely confused. I from the beginning of the show to the end, I could not figure out what did this have to do. But I figured out what it would have to do with, with the actual, franchise. I know what it did with that, but when did this happen? When did this happen? That's a question to ask. But that still didn't put any dents in my decision, because I'm still going to give it a hell yeah. This gets a hell yes, man. HBO did it again, baby. HBO did it again. Okay. I haven't seen something like this since Game of Thrones, or been excited for a show like this since Game of Thrones. Let's be honest here. Let's be honest. HBO was kind of slacking for a little minute there. Except for a few shows. HBO was just kind of waving along there. This really saved the day for me. Now, don't worry. I'm going to watch Lovecraft Country. Don't think I forgot. That's coming up. Don't worry. I just had to do this, get this out the way. All right? I want you to hit that like button, share, and please subscribe. Have a good day.